Wales head to Nice and the Cote d'Azur Six Nations record breakers after staging a remarkable fight back to mug France 24-19 in a rain-lashed Paris last night. Wales trailed by 16 points at the end of the first half but responded magnificently, posting a 10th successive win and equaling their longest undefeated run since 1999. Eclipsed the previous best comeback in the tournament's history, the French overturning a 15-0 deficit after 37 minutes to defeat Ireland 26-21 in the 1989 Five Nations. But Wales coach Warren Gatland has much to ponder during the trip to the south of France for a training camp ahead of facing Italy in Rome next Saturday. Who were the winners and losers during a real Jekyll and Hyde performance? Winners Warren Gatland. Wales took advantage of French demons on Friday night, with Gatland pulling off a couple of masterstrokes. Wales head coach Warren Gatland at the Stade de France. Image, PA, young lock Adam Beard had been disrupting French attempts at driving mauls, but putting Corey Hill on just 8 minutes into the second half brought energy, dynamism and added mobility to help swing it up front. But Gatland wasn't finished as he made another decisive early decision, hauling off half-backs Tomas Williams and Gareth Anscombe seconds after the latter had converted Georges North's opening try to reduce the deficit to just 2 points. Scrum half Williams had been on the end of Josh Adams' break for the first try but, like his Cardiff Blues colleague, had found it difficult in the downpour and being harried by opponents who swamped the breakdown area. Many coaches would have kept them on with only 12 minutes of the second half having gone and Wales having at last clicked, but not Gatland. He wanted more from his game managers and the expert goal-kicking of Dan Biggar, so the Northampton pivot and Gareth Davies were sent on to finish the job. Not all Gatland's changes worked. The Wales scrum got weaker as the game progressed and almost cost them the spoils, but he had acted as all good leaders should by being decisive and ruthless. Wales back row trio. Ross Moriarty takes the game to France. Image, PA, Wales just couldn't hang on to the ball in an opening 40 minutes of error-strewn rugby that would have probably been heavily punished by Six Nations favourites Ireland, England or Scotland. But Justin Tipuric, Ross Moriarty and Josh Navita were immense in quelling the French offensive with their defensive efforts. Navita just gets on with a job of being a thorn in the side of the opposition. Tipuric was used to successfully disrupt the quality of ball from French throws to the line out by being thrown into the air and was into everything in the loose. He put home scrum half Morgan Parra off his game when a rib tickler of a hit and appeared to be attached to the ball by elastic, as he nearly always seemed to be in its vicinity. Number 8 Moriarty's effort and the way he kept going to the end after hardly playing since last November's tests because of concussion was extraordinary. You can read how we rated them and all the other Wales players here. Josh Adams and George North. Josh Adams breaks through to set up Tomas Williams's try. Have you heard the tale of the two wingers? One knew exactly what he was doing and rarely put a foot wrong, while the other, quite frankly, could hardly do anything right. Yet the player having an absolute shocker, North, managed to score 2 opportunist tries and be named official man of the match. North's defense and work under the high ball with France prying on him was painful to watch at times. Adams, on the other hand, is a natural rugby player who sparked the comeback with a break out of nothing. Many would have attempted to go the whole way, but he calmly looked for support and ensured a try by passing to the unmarked Williams. North has to join him in the winners category because his 2 tries outweighed the negatives. Liam Williams and Jonathan Davies. Liam Williams of Wales crosses to score, but the try is disallowed. Image, Getty Images. Williams was rock solid dealing with the up and unders that quite literally rained down on him from the filthy Paris night sky. And he ran beautifully to be, along with Davies and Adams, Wales's most effective strike weapons. Williams had a try disallowed after carving a brilliant line through the French defense before losing control of the ball as he slid through the line. Davies would have strolled over if Williams had passed to him. I'd argue he could have before a defender cut off the avenue, but some maintain it wasn't on. That was about his only blemish. Centre Davies led the defensive line in the backs and attempted to grab the game by the scruff of its neck when he finally got his hands on the ball in the second half. His powerful burst led to Ross Moriarty scoring, only for it to be chalked off for obstruction by Alan Wynne-Jones. Wales actually crossed the whitewash 4 times, which was incredible when you consider how badly they had performed, the awful playing conditions and their lack of territory and possession. Losers Gareth Anscombe and Thomas Williams. Gareth Anscombe of Wales is tackled by Morgan Parra of France. Galland had stated picking Anscombe was a confidence, rather than a rugby decision following his impressive displays as Wales went unbeaten during the autumn campaign. But when he saw the weather on match day, Gatland must have wondered whether he had made the right call for the conditions, with them being right up the dependable Biggers Street. Anscombe was as poor as a number of his teammates during the first half, kicking out on the full, missing goal kicks, throwing a bad pass to Hadla Parks and drifting too wide while scrambling in defence to make it easier for Lewis Pickamoles to score. And Anscombe should have said, "Hang on a minute," just seconds before halftime, after Wales had been awarded a free kick and captain Alan Wynne-Jones ordered him to kick the ball in play rather than put it into the stand. France ran it back before Camille Lopez slotted a drop goal, which ultimately meant France were still in with a chance of winning until referee Wayne Barnes blew the final whistle. Thomas Williams, second left, celebrates scoring try with left to right George North, Josh Adams and Liam Williams. Image, Ben Evans, Hugh Evans Agency. I suspect Anscombe will start against Italy because leaving him out wouldn't do his confidence any good. Bigger, worryingly, is playing with a heavily strapped left knee following medial ligament damage, and Wales can't afford him breaking down with the World Cup on the horizon. Williams took his try well but found it a slog, as did his replacement, Gareth Davies, with the lack of protection his forwards afforded him. Nevertheless, the match highlighted how much Wales could do with a fit and firing Rhys Webb as a scrum half option. With his partner and 3 children returning to live in Wales after failing to settle at Toulon, the hope has to be he follows suit on the playing front to become available for the World Cup. Shaun Edwards. It's rare for Wales's world-renowned defence guru to be pitched this side of the ledger. But he will be deeply unhappy with both of France's tries after watching replays. Wales were pulled left and right for Pickamoles' score but lost their shape despite having slowed French possession. And Edwards must be sick to the back teeth of telling North not to get sucked in after seeing it happen for the umpteenth time to allow opponents to engineer an overlap. France's Yoann Huget capitalizes on George North's blunder to score a try. Even after gifting Yoann Huget a try, North continued to be drawn in. If you are going to come in, you have got to time it and smash the ball carrier. But North was caught in no man's land apart from when he read one of the most telegraphed passes you'll ever see to intercept and gallop away for his second try. You can be assured the no-nonsense Edwards will be putting Wales through their defensive drills in training this week. The French Rugby Federation, Les Bleus' awful record, it was their 7th defeat in 8 fixtures, is having an effect on their supporters with rows of empty seats at the Stade de France. It seems many have temporarily given up on their national team, which is such a shame because World Rugby needs a strong France. Yoann Huget. George North gets revenge on Yoann Huget, left by pouncing on the Frenchman's fumble. Image, PA. He was scintillating in the first half. However, Huget must have wished the earth would open and swallow him after making an absolute howler as he attempted to gather the ball and let North in for a Predators try that. Morgan Parra and Camille Lopez between them, and including a drop goal, the French halfbacks missed 5 shots at goal to Wales's 2. If Parra had been accurate, they would have been out of sight. As it was, they almost were, before halftime. Their collective failures kept Wales in it and wouldn't have aided under fire coach Jacques Brunel in his attempt to hold on to his job.